Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of Up South, where we bring to you the big stories from South India in the week and the special stories brought to you by our enterprising team of reporters. Our top story on the highly politicized world of cable TV operations in Tamil Nadu. Now, for years in Tamil Nadu, Sun TV network has held sway. But now Chief Minister Jayalalithaa wants the government to control the cable TV operations. My colleague Priyambada has the inside story.
The consumer is king, goes the adage. But Jayalalithaa is in a mood to effect a coup. The Tamil Nadu Chief Minister wants to topple the DMK-friendly Sun TV network from its perch of being the dominant player in the cable TV operations in the state. And he's lobbying for the Digital Addressable System or the DAS license for the state-run Tamil Nadu Arasu Cable TV, also known as TAC TV. In a letter written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Jayalalithaa wrote, I strongly suspect that the non-issuance of the DAS license to TSA TV by the previous UPA government was only to facilitate particular private business interests, as that the licenses were issued at the same time. That is a charge refuted by the DMK.
Yeah, even last time when they wrote, TRAI's recommendation is not in favor of giving licenses to DA's license to the government. That was what was told to her. Same thing is still, there is no change in telecom policy now. I don't know what her intention is not to run government.
Ironically, Arasu TV was started by Jayalalitha's political rival, Karunanidhi, when he was Chief Minister in 2007, primarily to counter the clout of the Maran Sun TV network when they fell out with him. But once the family reunited, Karunanidhi lost interest in Arasu Cable TV.
This political business rivalry is going on between both of them every 5 years, and because of this, the problem is problem faced by the operators is more. So they go none other than Tamil Nadu. No, the operators is not that much worried about the business and future.
When Jayalalithaa came to power, she revived Arasu, providing cable TV at 70 rupees per connection, even as others charged over 150 rupees.
அரசு கேபிள் டிவி வரும்போது பப்ளிக்கு அமௌண்ட் கம்மியாகும் செலவு. அடுத்தது ஆப்ரேட்டர்ஸுக்கு ஒரு பெனிஃபிட் கிடைக்கும்.
On the street, the response is mixed, as the viewer wants quality viewing at an affordable cost.
In Arasu Cable TV, we don't have a lot of channels. We can't see sports or kids entertainment. Whereas in SCV, we can see a lot of entertainment such as religious and sports. We have a lot of channels.
It will definitely make because earlier private cables they are using so they will be having their own profits and they are using that. Now people may have they will be having more advantage, like they can able to see all the channels, and one more thing is money will be less. Obviously that is the benefit for peoples.
But the 17 other multi-system operators known as MSOs who have already got the DAS license feel Arasu Cable TV will only monopolize the industry with government backing, damaging their business interests.
Single company, single monopoly activities. There are already government of India implementation digitalization. I am agreed to my company, my lot of 3 to 4 people also, very big investments. In case Arasu Cable license, nothing no problem, but Arasu Cable activities, there are already rest of Tamil Nadu same monopoly or Chennai, my question.
In 2012, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India had recommended against the state owning cable TV operations. The question is whether the NDA government will help Jayalalithaa in this matter, knowing fully well the murky political cesspool that cable TV operations in Tamil Nadu is. With camera person Daniel, this is Priyambada in Chennai for Headlines Today.
Now, it's almost a month since the official division of Andhra Pradesh, and many firms registered in Hyderabad are looking east towards the residuary state of Andhra Pradesh. Many of them want to take advantage of the tax holiday that the state will give them, but for many others, it's also an emotional decision to go back to their roots.
When the union government decided to redraw the boundaries of Andhra Pradesh, Sanjay Devalapalli and Sai Ramesh, founder-directors at Malak Solutions, a 7-year-old IT services company in Hyderabad, decided to branch out as well. With Sanjay hailing from Telangana and Ramesh from Andhra Pradesh, the decision was also motivated by Ramesh's desire to work out of Visakhapatnam, his hometown. Malak Solutions will now set up a unit in Vizag in addition to its operations in Hyderabad.
We've been thinking about it in the last 3 months since the elections happened. Okay, and for me it was purely a business decision. Okay, so if the state of Andhra Pradesh, if it's going to give some exemptions and all that, and then encourage business, and also since we are into e-governance, okay, if they're going to build their new government offices and all that there, we see an opportunity there.
And you coming from Visakhapatnam would want to go back to your roots and want to play a part in developing your state. Is that the way you look at it emotionally?
Emotionally, yes. The answer definitely is yes.
Lakshmi Prasad has decided to move out of Hyderabad to Vizag for slightly different reasons. He feels he's being treated as a second-class entrepreneur in the Telangana state.
We are moving definitely for the business reasons, but there is an underlying emotional reason as well. Where like I was like studying in Nizamabad and I was here like since '83 and like doing business and everything. But the way the state has been bifurcated, that there is a glass ceiling which has developed, and that emotional factor is playing a lot of influence with respect to the operations as well.
Entrepreneurs, especially in the manufacturing sector, are also worried about the restriction that could be placed on the kind of labor they employ. Since the Telangana activists are particular that the locals should be preferred when it comes to employment opportunities.
About 70 to 75% of the jobs pertaining to semi-skilled and unskilled categories should be reserved to the local people. And this includes operators and people below that.
Since June 2nd, when Telangana came into being, over 100 firms have registered themselves in Andhra Pradesh. In comparison, only 12 firms have registered in Telangana. The TDP government is already gloating over the early gains.
Naidu have international image and also good brand. And they have confidence, who has the businessman industry, they have a confidence. Where we were there in Andhra, then the all permissions and law and order, business atmosphere will be good. That's why all businessmen are attracting Andhra Pradesh.
Telangana is a very newly born state. It's the 29th state in India, and it is only 1 month born. And AP, Andhra Pradesh, is already known to the people, and it has been formed since so many years. Now 60 years, the name is famous in all over the market, and everybody knows on to that. We have got a teething problem about this state. We'll definitely overcome it.
But just as Rome was not built in a day, Andhra Pradesh too will face a long gestation period. There are many who will still stay put in Hyderabad, given the question marks over the quality of infrastructure and manpower in Naidu land. But the early flight of entrepreneurship is not something that will help Telangana's brand equity. In Hyderabad with Pratibha Raman, T.S. Sudhir for Headlines Today. Now this story is bound to disturb you irrespective of whether you are an animal lover or not. The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court this week dismissed all petitions that argued in favour of continuing with the traditional Jallikattu event in southern Tamil Nadu. Now if you thought that the bulls will now have a better life, you are wrong, because the fiery bulls are now being sold to slaughterhouses in Kerala. Srisha Reddy brings us this very shocking story.
For years, the sport of Jallikattu raised the hackles of animal rights activists. Now, an order from the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court which banned the event has quite literally proved to be the final nail in the coffin for the bulls. The owner of these animals has now planned to sell them to a slaughterhouse in Kerala.
தமிழுடைய வீர விளையாட்டில் வந்து கம்பு சண்டை கத்தி சண்டை கல் தூக்கி போடுறது இதுகளெல்லாம் முக்கியமானது வந்து கபடி விளையாட்டை காட்டிலையும் ஜல்லியாட்டு மாடு தான் முக்கியமாக. அந்த காலத்தெல்லாம் வந்து எங்கள் ஊர்களில் வந்து பொண்ணு கட்டணும்னாக்கா ஜல்லியாட்டு மாடு அணக்கினாதான் பொண்ணே கொடுப்பா. அப்படி பாரம்பரிய மிக்க விளையாட்டு. இதை வந்து தமிழக அரசு உச்சநீதிமன்றம் வந்து தடை விதிக்கிறாங்க.
Animal rights activists are shocked by the decision of the bull owners. They say it's ironic that the same owners who call these bulls members of their family are now talking of selling them to slaughterhouses.
They should approach the government and tell the government to take in these bulls, have integrated cattle shelters, link it with organic agriculture, bring down our dependence on chemical fertilizers. That is one possible way to go. Or hand it over to some of the religious mutts here. We will take care of them.
While the state government is silent, the former Chief Minister Karunanidhi has urged Jayalalithaa to file a review petition to ensure that the sport continues.
I don't know why the government is thinking the Supreme Court has thought of, to ban that, or why the government was not interested in fighting the case in the Supreme Court. This is just a game.
After being faithful to the ungrateful mankind, these bulls are being sold for a few $1,000s to the slaughter industry. While the animal rights activists see this as a landmark victory, bull tamers refuse to accept Jallikattu's cruelty and continue to say a review petition at the Supreme Court is the only way to keep the tradition alive. With camera person Daniel Srisha Reddy in Chennai for Headlines Today.
Welcome back. You're with the weekend edition of Up South. Now, haven't we heard of problems that people go through while travelling in auto rickshaws? Rohini Swami reports on the ordeal a lady commuter went through in Bangalore.
In a shocking case of harassment, an auto driver in Bangalore threatened and assaulted a lady when she asked him why he was charging exorbitant rates for a short distance. The auto driver demanded 150 rupees for a short distance of 2 kilometers. When questioned, he not only verbally abused her but pushed her aside.
I took a photo of his auto plate number, and after I did that, he got really angry with me. He started grabbing my shoulders, he started taking photos of me, threatening me, telling me that he knows what I look like now, threatening any other auto driver to take me. He started insulting me in Kannada and kept saying delete photo.
This wasn't the end of her ordeal. After managing to go away with the help of her friend, she decided to lodge a police complaint. The traffic police filed an FIR, but when she went to the regular police station, she was told that if she filed an FIR, the auto union would hound her.
A senior officer told me, if you file an FIR, the auto union will come after you, which is completely irrational thing to say because he's the police officer. It's their responsibility to take care of citizens.
After much hue and cry on the social media, finally the police relented and a case was filed in the Ashoknagar police station. But for a lady who is not conversant with the local language and after being rebuked for not knowing Kannada by cops, she stood up for her rights.
So I want to ensure that this becomes like an example for people, for the auto drivers. And if in the process of doing that, the police can also learn better how to treat harassment victims, that would be something that I'm looking for.
Meanwhile, Bangalore Traffic Commissioner has said that adequate action will be taken against the errant driver.
No, the physical assault part I won't be able to tell what action has been taken, but then we will definitely work with the law and order police and we will take action on the concerned person, ensure that action is taken. But these kind of... Because it is the registered case will be registered in the law and order police station. So that is...
Brand Ambassador for Bangalore Traffic Police, Rahul Dravid too feels that there should be a system in place for the security of women.
Protection and safety of women is incredibly important and very, very important and should be done.
But very clearly the police need to step up, they need to take action, they need to file an FIR in her case and specifically sensitize the auto drivers that charging ridiculous amounts of money, especially for commuters, is something which is a complete no-no. But more importantly, safety of the people first. And that is what not only the police need to do, also the auto rickshaw drivers, because at the end of the day, it's public conveyance and people need to be sure and need to feel secure when they're traveling in it. With Cameron Madhu, Rohini Swami in Bangalore for Headlines Today.
It's going to be a case of Hyderabad blues quite literally for the Hyderabad City Police. Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao believes that the police force will look in the pink of health with this sartorial change. But not everyone thinks it is such a good idea. Pratibha Raman reports.
Traffic Constable M. Srinivas is looking forward to be one of the men in blue. He and many others of his tribe hope that the Telangana government's decision to change the color of the uniform of the police force in Hyderabad from khaki to blue will make them look smarter.
స్కూళ్ళల్లో వాడడము కంపెనీలలో వాడడము ఇలాంటి వాడడం వలన ఈ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ వల్ల ఆ డ్రెస్ కూడా అంత అవగాహన లేకపోయి ఉంది.
The TRS government, that otherwise has a fascination for the pink color, hopes this international look will ensure there are no more any blues for brand Hyderabad.
हमारा पुलिस वालों के ऊपर जो पुराना ड्रेस पुराना सिस्टम है, पब्लिक को जो है कॉन्फिडेंस क्रिएट करने के लिए, इंटरनेशनल वालों को यहाँ बिजनेस इन्वाइट करने के लिए यहाँ का पुलिस को ताकतवर बनाना चाहते. इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड पुलिस को यहाँ हम लोग स्थापित करना चाहते.
But not everyone thinks it is a good idea. Former Director General of Police of Andhra Pradesh, C. Anjayya Reddy, thinks this sartorial change will only lead to more confusion about the identity of the police in Hyderabad.
While retaining the khaki color, you can make the uniform more impressive. You can give them other colors, like Telangana police badge, emblem. Something can be done to make it more impressive, particularly for the constabulary. That can be done, but basic khaki color is associated with police all over the country. So why go away from it?
Bangalore-based fashion designer Prasad Bidappa feels blue as a color will not be user-friendly in hot and humid Hyderabad weather conditions.
The uniforms of authority are meant to instill sort of respect in the public's viewpoint. So it must instill fear in criminals, confidence in the public. These are things that are hidden messages that must come out from the uniform. So it's not just a question of being fashionable, but a question of being practical, a question of being also sort of workable for the police force. So I somehow feel that we should also take their opinion in it, and somebody should ask them, what is it that you like to wear?
Think police, think blue, and perhaps you'd be thinking of them beating up a criminal black and blue. But that is not the image that the Telangana state wants to associate with the Hyderabad city police. Hopefully, they will be as gentle as the color they'd soon be donning and make other cops in other cities go green with envy. With Ratnika Sharma in Bangalore, Pratibha Raman, Hyderabad, Headlines Today.
And finally, believe it or not, a 20-year-old bus shelter has been stolen in Bangalore. Yes, you heard me right, stolen. And the authorities have asked the police to find the missing bus stop.
It was the 1st of May, but for residents who frequented Bangalore's BEML bus stop, it felt like the 1st of April, All Fool's Day. Who moved my bus stop, they asked as they arrived there in the morning. It had gone missing overnight and no one knows who took it. The police think it was someone with a cunning plan.
A bus stand in RR Nagar was stolen in the night. This complaint was registered by BBMP engineer. They released that in the night of 8th, one bus shelter was cut and taken away. It was a structure, it was a steel structure over there. It has been taken away by somebody. So police registered a case.
Meanwhile, it's the residents who are not amused.
Even I know that one. But what has happened afterwards? Who has taken, on whom they have booked the case? Whom they have booked the case? We don't know, no? For I watched their FIR police, they will pick someone and they'll book a case and they will release afterwards. What has happened to this property? This is government property.
Yesterday night में shelter था, लेकिन next सुबह देखे तो shelter नहीं है. Actually मैं देखा सुबह आया तो यहाँ तो लिखी थी BBMP lifted this bus stop to somewhere. हमें क्या सोचा ये BBMP वाला ही किया. By chance अब BBMP वाला बोल रहा है हम नहीं किया.
It's a curious case of a bus stand going missing overnight. On one hand, the residents of this place say that they saw the bus stand being removed by the BBMP, that is the Bruhat Bangalore Mahanagar Palike. On the other hand, the BBMP authority is saying they have no clue. Instead, they filed an FIR of a missing bus station. With Cameron Shrimati, Rohini Swami in Bangalore for Headlines Today.
Hope they find that bus stop very soon. That's it then on this weekend's edition of Up South from the entire team of Up South. Thanks for watching.